Hello everyone, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns! So today, we have the Tears of the Kingdom Any Percent Tournament 2023 Qualifier Race number 7. So on commentary, we will have Felus Cube and Sledgen. So thanks everyone, and have a great race.
Alright, hello everyone.
Hello.
I am pretty excited for this qualifier today.
Yeah, me too. Seems that we have 2 runners. So it's gonna be pretty easy for us to commentate and keep track, which it's nice.
Yeah.
And it can be exciting. It's like a 1 versus 1 race. So we have Moist Goulash against Arna. I think those players are playing on different versions. I think Moist is playing on 1.0 and Arna is gonna be playing on 1.2.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting to see the version differences.
So yeah.
But yeah. Seems like they are just practicing before it starts. Oh wait, no. Synchronizing. Alright, yeah, the race is about to start.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so in the qualifiers, both runners will be starting from new game, which is in the qualifier rules. They will also not be using any amiibo, but glitches like the intro clip and zuggling for the Ganondorf fight are totally allowed. So yeah, the countdown has started.
And yeah. Are starting right now to start their games, and so yeah, we start from
here we go.
New game. Tears of the Kingdom has this prologue that some speedrunners tend to hate pretty much, especially because of the 4-minute long cutscene that takes place at the end. But yeah, we've decided in this tournament to make this section a requirement, basically because the main issue with this section is that it messes up with reset efficiency generally, but in a tournament setting, this run is the only one you're gonna play, so we can afford to start from the beginning. And we see that both runners are going for playing it casually. In 1.0, Moist will have had the possibility of doing the intro clip, which is this out of bounds section that allows us to skip all these dialogues and cutscenes that we see that are playing right now. But it's pretty hard. So in a tournament setting, yeah, it's pretty understandable not going for it.
Very understandable that they're not going for it in tournament. But honestly, the 4-minute cutscene is kind of nice in a way because it gives us time to explain everything that's going to happen in the run.
Yeah. That's going to be helpful for us.
Yeah. So the intro gameplay is pretty simple right now. We're just going to be mashing through text. You might see the players jump at certain points, and that is to go a tiny bit further through the caves as Zelda is about to talk to you, and it just saves a tiny bit of time.
Yeah.
And also, you've got these 3 keys.
Yeah,
that we need to
that's
kill as fast as we can.
the maybe hardest part to optimize a bit in this intro section.
Yeah.
Although you cannot lose a ton of time, but there's
there's
this
a
bit of
bit
time
of a
saved.
stamina glitch from
Yeah, we
Moist
can
Goulash
see
there.
here, although in the intro cutscene, in the intro section here we have like full stamina already upgrade. Yeah, we see these micro optimizations here with the alternative sprinting techniques.
Yeah. So some of these runners might be using some things called sprinting techniques. One of them is where you crouch, uncrouch, tap the R button, and then press B, all in quick succession, and it can save a tiny, tiny amount of time whilst you're trying to get back your stamina. So yeah, it looks like Moist Goulash is slightly ahead here. The intro section is all about optimizing tiny bits of gameplay. There's no real big tricks if you're not going for the intro clip. So that's what it's all about for now.
Yeah.
Alright. And after this cutscene, they will be doing a trick called Cog Skip. And Cog Skip is a trick that they will be doing in the Room of Awakening, where you run, jump, tap R, and then slash backwards to get onto this little ledge. And it's quite precise, and it's very easy to fail it. But I hope both runners get it pretty quickly in this tournament, because it can definitely be kind of nerve-wracking to do tricks like that in a race.
Yeah, it's a trick that's already become pretty defining of what Tears of the Kingdom speedrunning looks like. It's the every single category starts with this trick, and if you want to go for a decent time, it's the best option to go. Previously, we used to go activate the terminal that's in that same room, and that allowed us to move through the cogs to achieve the same purpose, which was getting to the wing chest that's above Room of Awakening a bit earlier. Well, I mean, before even the title cutscene. So, and those wings are gonna be pretty useful for movement in GSI.
It's the wings that's the important part. And in the speedrun, a long time ago, there used to be a different jump that players would do on the moving cogs to get to that chest early. But this faster one can save up to 40 seconds over that other one. So it's pretty important to go for.
I think it's compared to Breath of the Wild, it's really similar to the trick that you can see at the Shrine of Resurrection, which it's a clip. It's the Shrine of Resurrection clip. They are similar. I found them similar in difficulty, and yeah, it's a trick that once you get good at, you can get pretty consistently, but getting a really fast time, which is basically trying to do the minimal setup as possible, it can be pretty difficult. So yeah, there are lots of different setups to do this trick. Some faster, some less, but maybe more consistent. We'll see what each runner does.
Yeah, for Cog Skip, it seems like a lot of people do slightly different setups and do what works for them. So it is a pretty interesting trick.
Yeah. For example,
it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I have my own unique setup that I think I'm the only one that uses it, which I do a crouch jump, and basically the jump I do it straight out of a crouch, which basically puts you at full speed without having to run. So that makes it a bit easier.
Seems like Anna is going for the crouch
Sorry.
uncrouch setup.
Yeah. So I basically do a just crouch.
Alright, that is cog skip from Moist Goulash.
Crouching and uncrouching helps too because it allows us to move tinier amounts of distance, so you can adjust your position a lot more precisely.
Yeah.
And we see, that Moist has already gotten it, and Arnett's struggling a bit.
Yeah, and that's understandable. With cog skip, I definitely feel like there are some times where you get it first try, and then there are other times where it can take you a while to get it. So
Yeah.
it's definitely just one of those tricks where it can be very easy for that to happen. Alright, so
Moist here, already grabbing the wings, and we see him going towards the right, which means that he's gonna be doing the more traditional route. So there's been recent developments here in the way we go to our first shrine, which it's gonna be Ascent. What we usually were doing was going to the Temple of Time and doing a void warp towards the Purapad construct that we're gonna get right away here.
Yeah.
So, but there's this new idea that I mainly contributed developing, which is called Early Ascent, which basically it's doing the same idea of doing a void warp, but all the way back to Room of Awakening, where we got the wings, and that allows us to go straight to Ascent without just by falling, instead of having to climb all the way up from Bottomless Cave. But yeah, it's a pretty hard trick. The faster way to do it is with a trick called Wing Flip, which it allows us to get on a wing right after the title cutscene, but you need to do a fall damage cancel with the wing, meaning grabbing the side of the wing to cancel the fall damage.
Yeah, and
so
that's
it's pretty hard,
difficult.
and in a tournament it's a pretty crazy thing to go for. So we don't see it, and it's also not technically a 1.0 thing only, but
on later versions it's a lot harder, it seems. Wing flip.
Basically because you need to do most door jumps, basically, which is this trick which allows us to repeatedly jump slash on the air. We see that Arna got the cog skip there finally.
Alright, and there's Anna getting cog skip.
Mm-hmm.
And that is awesome to see that they kept going.
There's this most door jump technique, which allows us to repeatedly jump slash on the air, and you can cancel the jump slash just by diving, but that got nerfed in versions after 1.0, so it's still possible to do the wing flip, but harder. And there's also the issue that in 1.2 that Arna is on, you don't have such an easy way to dupe the wings, and this route uses a lot more wings. So seems that we will look here. We will see how Arna is gonna be duping the wings, which is Mither throw duplication, which by throwing the wing at the same time you are dropping it out of your inventory, you can basically dupe the wing, and you can dupe up to 21 with that method.
Yeah, after 21, the game starts despawning items, so that's why 21 is the limit.
Yeah.
Also, we just saw Moist Goulash spawn 2 wings at Temple of Time, then press A to activate the hand symbol, and then after the cutscene, he was still standing on a wing. Basically, standing on a wing doesn't technically count as touching the ground. So if we place another wing, activate the Temple of Time cutscene, and then we void out, we will actually get warped all the way back to where we got the Puripad, because that is the last ground that Link stood on. That the game thinks. And so now we're going to see Moist Goulash running through the bottomless cave, probably going to be getting a few bombs for later. He's doing some crouch force sprinting.
Yeah, not doing the early ascent route that we commentated has still disadvantage, because you are gonna want to have plenty of bombs. In 1.0 you can dupe them pretty easily, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, we can get up to 5 bombs by running up through bottomless caves, which is nice. And in the case of early ascent, we will just need to go down to grab a single bomb from right after finishing ascent. So we will do that like in opposite order. And also we see Moist grabbing the flame emitter shield, which it's pretty useful. Having his shield. It's a bit annoying having it with the flame emitter, but we're gonna be able to unequip it once we get to fuse.
Yeah, we're going to be unfusing. We're going to be destroying the fused material from that after that.
That's the word.
So that we can fuse bombs and wings to our shields instead.
So with
Alright, so now Moist Goulash is going to be entering the Ascend Shrine, and there is a little construct in the Ascend Shrine called Billy, that the community named, and he shoots arrows at you. Now, in some routes, people will get the bow from Billy, as it is useful for some glitches, but in others, they will just have to try and avoid him. So let's hope that Billy is nice to us today. But other than that, the Ascend Shrine is pretty simple. It's a lot of running and ascending.
I'm sorry, but my light went out. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. So a bit of technical difficulties. I hope I can get this fixed.
Okay, yeah, Billy was shooting arrows, but looks like Moist Goulash is okay. And now all we have to do is ascend up to the top, watch a little cutscene, and then that is the Ascend Shrine done. Alright, and there we go, that is the Ascend Shrine completed. And now Anna is going to be trying to drop some wings at a very specific spot in order to make sure that the wing the tip of the wing kind of like drops off of the edge a little bit, so that it slows it down just enough so that Link can run onto it. We'll be riding this wing all the way to the bottomless cave, and then we're going to be jumping off it right here. Now, I noticed that Anna is playing in French. Now, I remember hearing that French saves a minuscule amount of time over English in the speedrun, but recently person in the community called Clouded did some research on languages in the game, and it turns out that for text, Russian is the fastest language, and it's about a second faster than English. And now we will see Anna doing this climbing up these little tree roots here. Gonna make sure to optimize it so that we can get up before we die of the cold. Because that's pretty important, not dying of the cold. And now we will see Moist Goulash going to the cave, I think. Oh, it looks like he's going to be getting some frogs and some choo-choos so that he can make speed food. Since this is no amiibo. And this is a pretty convenient spot to get them, since choo-choos spawn right here, and you can make them drown, and you can get some choo-choo jelly to make speed food without any amiibo. So that's pretty useful, especially with fast duping. So that's a pretty interesting route choice. Yeah, so now we will see Goulash duping his frogs and his choo-choos and diving into this lake. Oh, it looks like... Oh no, it looks like he might be fine. And let's see if Anna has good luck with Billy. I think Anna might be killing Billy in this route, but I'm not super certain. Yeah, okay, they are. So they're gonna kill Billy in order to get his bow, and this bow is going to be useful for some quick smuggling later on, which is a glitch that they use in the 1.2.0 route. And that is Moist Goulash getting the battery from the construct there. Now, there is a trick you can do called early battery, which is where you throw a wing capsule off of the cliff just outside of Ascend, and then you jump onto a wing, and you get the battery whilst you're on the wing. But since we are going to this cave, where we will be getting this ruby for later, that construct there is just the most convenient place to get the battery anyway, so that's why they didn't do that trick just there. Alright, and now we are gonna see Moist Goulash getting a shield from the construct, which is going to be pretty useful, and killing them with a ruby, I think that was, and cooking some speed food. So, as you can see, the frogs and the choo-choos are very useful to get a speed 3 elixir, which is better than speed 2, which is what cooking 5 rushrooms gives you. And they'll be doing some throw sprinting methods all the way towards the Fuse Shrine. Alright, and that is Anna out of the Ascent Shrine. Just gonna have to talk to Rauru very briefly. And let's see what route they go for towards the Fuse Shrine. Looks like they're also going to be heading towards the cave. Yeah, and they will be getting the same construct that Moist Goulash got earlier. So this is Moist Goulash getting the fuse ability, and this is also going to be very useful for the run. It's going to be useful for fusing bombs to our shield, and it might come in handy when we get to the Ganondorf fight later on. Oh yeah, and you'll quickly be fusing a boulder to that sword there so that you can break those rocks. And they'll be duping some bombs here as well. So right here, we've got a bow and arrow, and we are going to shoot a bomb at that chest. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. But what you can do is you can shoot a bomb at a precise spot on that chest, and that chest will fling into the air, and it will bounce all the way over to the other side, and that saves a little bit of time over just shooting or throwing a fire fruit at it, which is what the game seems to want you to do there. So that strat that Moist Goulash was going for was you can do a bomb jump up onto that ledge there and dupe some bombs as you're going up. That's a very cool strat when you get it, but it doesn't lose too much time to just go there normally if you fail it. Alright, and we'll be completely ignoring this construct and just completing the fuse shrine.
I'm sorry to have left you alone. Do you hear me fine?
And now we will be doing the load into the next section where we will be trying to get to the Ultra Hand Shrine. So Moist Goulash just did a thing that has been referred to in the past as wing bombs, which I think is a great name, where you shield surf with a bomb fused to your shield, and as you're gaining height, you drop a wing in the air, and if you did a bomb shield surf off of a sloped surface, you can land on a wing in midair from that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, they'll be doing some more bomb jumps around here. And it looks like they'll be doing this route where they bomb jump up on here, and then they take a wing and skip this whole section so that they can get to the Ultra Hand Shrine a lot faster.
Hello, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry for the technical problems, my light went out, but I think everything should be fine now. I'm sorry to have left you alone, but you did a great job.
Yeah, Anna is currently in the Fuse Shrine, doing Quick Smuggle, and Goulash has just entered the Ultra Hand Shrine. Oh yeah, so Anna's going for something here called Construct Skip, which unfortunately he couldn't get that time, but it's very cool when you do get it. He set up a glitch called Quick Smuggle, which allowed him to do like the equivalent of a bomb jump, but without a shield being visually present under Link's feet there. And then he could do a thing called Arrow Flight, where they would repeatedly press ZR and Y in a rhythm to fly through the air, and if you are close to the ceiling enough and you do it for long enough, you can actually skip the cutscene of that construct fusing that thing to its weapon.
Yeah, so the basic way Arrow Smuggle works basically it works pretty similarly to what we've commentated about Monster Jumps, which is basically the idea of cancelling a jump slash and being able to do jump slash repeatedly, but this works way better. You can do it way more quickly, and therefore it allows us to keep the momentum way better. So basically, yeah, we can start with a bomb jump and keep the speed basically for a really long time and even keep gaining height. So yeah, it's a pretty good movement option.
Yeah, it's a very cool glitch. Now, there is a thing that has recently happened on 1.0 called Zoggle Overload Arrow Smuggle, and with a bunch of menu shenanigans, you can achieve arrow flight as well on 1.0, but on 1.0, the setup is slightly different. Alright, so
Yeah,
Anna managed
yeah.
to skip past that area. They unfortunately still got the cutscene, but they did manage to reach the end.
So the basic way Sagal Overload, Arrow Smuggle works in 1.0, we will not be seeing it in this run, but you will be seeing Sagal, which is a glitch that allows us to stack multiple weapons on top of another, and weapons, and even works with bows and shields. It's gonna be useful later for killing Ganondorf in 1.0. So,
You can see Anna do it again now.
Sagel also allows for Sagel Overload, which it's basically Link has a maximum amount of things that he can carry in the sense of things that are loaded upon him, which is 21 things as weapons, bows, the closest, even the arrows count. So yeah, we want to try to exceed that 21 number there, which will put us in an overloaded state, which has some interesting effects. For example,
Link's model breaks a little bit.
Yeah, the model of Link breaks. You can see him without the legs, for example, without hair. And yeah, in previous routes, we used to use it to clip, since when you mount one thing overloaded, it could be a steering stick, a horse, or even a Lionel. You clip through the ground. So yeah, we used to go all of our way to get a steering stick in Gerudo Valley and bring it to the Hyrule Castle to clip into the depths, and then from there to the clip that you're required to do after army. But we found later other ways to clip with infinite height, which is a way, basically the same jump slash cancel that you can do with Arrow Smuggle, you can do it manually. Well, it's probably what we will say Moist do, and we will see Arna doing it with the Quick Smuggle.
So this is Moist just getting to the Nacho Ya Shrine, or the shrine where you use recall. Now this shrine is also on a cycle, like the Ascend one. If your movement is pretty clean, you can make an early cycle where you can use Ultra Hand to push the little clock hands together, which is a little bit faster than using recall normally, if you are able to get it that fast.
It's pretty interesting, the different cycles that you can get. For example, we see him getting the recall cycle. We see
that's the normal recall cycle.
using recall there. You can, with speed, it's pretty easy to be able to get there earlier, and if the things of the clock are low enough, you can ultra hand them and move them together. And yeah, but that's harder to get without speed, although in recent developments, even without Arrow Smuggle, allows us to get that earlier with things like super bomb jumps and sonate storage, which allows us to use wings inside of shrines.
Yeah, there's been lots of theorizing on strats to use Zonai devices inside of shrines, but we have not seen that in these runs.
Yeah. It's a weird middle ground because usually
nice backup from
advanced enough. Oh yeah, advanced enough runners will most likely go for strats like a Rose Magel, and runners that are not willing to put that much dedication will keep with the well-known strats that we've already been using for a bunch of time already.
Yeah, so that backup you just saw Moist Goulash do was a fall damage cancel, where you can buffer from the L menu into the shield menu, and you can switch shields and then start diving. And if you do it correctly, that will cancel your fall damage. And so the reason why he did that was because he dropped a wing slightly too far forward. And that is a very nice backup. And it's a very useful trick to know. And we're also going to be seeing it later on as well.
Yeah. So we now see Moist getting the heart container, which is required to beat the Great Sky Island. It's the most important. It's like a really hard check that the game makes. For us, we can only open this door and therefore finish the Great Sky Island by having this heart container. There's been theorizing about the idea of trying to get a heart container earlier to skip basically going to the Ascent Shrine, avoid going all the way there. But yeah, it seems pretty unlikely so far. The main idea
has been theorizing, but
yeah, things more hypothetically, basically like trying to get the hearts from the intro all the way to the main game. But yeah, it seems a pretty difficult thing to do. If we could store a shrine into the intro, that could work hypothetically, but we don't know if that is even possible. So yeah, we stick with playing all the shrines like the devs intended.
Yeah, people have tried to get to the Recall Shrine early, and they have.
Yeah.
And they've also gotten into the Temple of Time early, but you cannot interact with them.
Yeah. It seems pretty hard to do any kind of sequence break right there. And yeah, it's interesting because Tears of the Kingdom follows a pretty similar structure in a lot of things compared to Breath of the Wild, its predecessor. But in the Great Sky Island, compared to the Great Plateau, we have a way more linear structure. We still have the first three shrines that we can choose which to go first, but we're limited on the fourth shrine, which always has to be Recall and Nakoya. So yeah, and there's no much choice there. And we saw that the order that it's most common, basically everyone uses it's Ascent, then Fuse, then Ultra Hand, and there doesn't seem to be any possibility of finding anything better than that, because basically starting with Ascent is so good in the sense that you start so high and then you can go to the other shrines pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The idea of starting with Fuse is tempting because Fuse is the most useful ability of all the ones we get. but going from Fuse, which is the lower shrine of all, to Ascent, for example, it's pretty slow. So anytime saves that you could save there, it's end up hardly being worth it.
Yeah. So what we just saw Moist Goulash do was he did a thing called a jump/cancel clip, where he interrupted Link's jump/animation with the L menu, and then he buffered into the shield menu, swapped shields, and then Link got a tiny bit of height, and then he entered bullet time. And if you do this as Link's head is very close to a ceiling, you can actually clip through with an extra shield surf. And now he's doing another full damage cancel out of bounds. And it looks like he's going to be trying to clip back inbounds. There are a few methods to do this, but he just decided to go for the ragdoll clip there, because the collision is two-sided in this game, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And we will also see Arna duping his rubies here for the army fight.
It's the same method we seen him use earlier for the wings. It's mid or throw duplication, but with the difference that now he's using recall to stop the rubies, because otherwise they would blow up as soon as you throw them.
Yeah, it's very useful that you can do that. And on Moist Goulash's side, you will also see him use recall, but for a different reason, and that's to cancel Link's throwing animation when he is throwing rubies, so that you can throw the rubies faster in the army fight to kill all of the enemies. And now with the Zelfos wave, I believe we will be getting a spear. Yeah, there we go. I got 2 spears and a Black Zelfos horn, which are gonna come in handy later. And we'll see Arna finishing up GSI here. GSI being the Great Sky Island. And this Gibdo wave right here is a lot faster than the other waves, because Gibdos are pretty weak to elemental attacks. So rubies also come in handy for that one.
Yeah, that's a really good reason to have elemental damage, because it's basically the only good way to hurt Gibdos.
Oh, and they threw their boulder hammer at that moblin to kill it. That was a pretty cool strat. I like it. Seems like Arna will be doing a little bit of quick smuggle stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
And
it seems that it failed, but it should be fine.
yeah, and
Not that much
now
of a time loss.
Moist Goulash has just finished the army fight, and they're going to be doing another 2 jump/cancel clips to clip out of bounds to skip the boss rush and get to the Ganondorf fight earlier than you usually could. The camera can be a little bit weird in this section, in this third clip in the run, but if you go to the right spots, you usually don't get any issues. There you go, very nice from Moist Goulash there. Very clean clips.
Very clean.
Alright, and now for the zuggling. We will be doing some zuggling to stack a bunch of weapons on top of each other, so that we can basically just do each phase of Ganondorf in only one flurry rush. So we will do one flurry rush for the first phase, one for the second, and one for the third. And that makes it significantly faster.
Seems that the audio has cut off.
You can see Link holding multiple spears right here. Now, for Arna, because he's on version 1.2.0, he cannot do the same zuggle for Ganondorf, and he is going to have to fight Ganondorf normally, which can be pretty tough.
Indeed.
And that's Anna doing a full damage cancel, but with the quick smuggle glitch, which is a pretty cool thing to see. You'll now be using arrow smuggle
pretty handy there.
Clip out of bounds, just like Moist Goulash did. And now that's Ganondorf phase 3 for
We've
Goulash.
seen both them do the clip in the well, right? Yeah, there are multiple spots that we know that can work for this. Each one has its own benefit in their particular routes, but yeah, usually the well is the most known, especially for runs that in 1.0 especially that do not require, if you don't need to do any Sagel overload stuff, usually the well is the best play. Usually, if you needed arrows because you wanted to do previously arrow smuggle flights arrowless, which are pretty handy because they don't require to drain stamina, then you want arrows back once you do the clip. So there are other spots that have a better access to arrows. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's Anna
in
doing
these
the ragdoll
scenarios,
clip as well.
Yeah.
In a slightly different spot.
Yeah. It
And
was
that's,
a slightly faster setup there.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty tricky there.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Moist Goulash entering Demon Dragon, which is pretty hyped to see. They have a lot of clean sections so far.
Another effect here of what Sagel does, which it's mess around with how things look. We see a pretty interesting cutscene here with Link pulling out the Master Sword with a spear attached to it.
Spears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're also going to see Anna use a bomb shield to get rid of these final enemies in the army fight, because he is not able to have as many rubies as Goulash did in this part.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart thing to do.
So yeah, there's one Bokoblin left. I can just use a ruby for that, and that should be fine. But yeah, this is Demon Dragon for Moist Goulash. I think he's gonna, he's gonna be going for the 2-cycle, where you immediately jump off the Light Dragon there, and you do lots of Mozdor slashes to reach the first eye really quickly. And they're gonna be dropping their Zoggle Spears. And after this, they're gonna run to the side here, and then they're gonna start... Oh no, it looks like that wasn't the correct thing there.
Yeah.
But usually, in the 2-cycle, you would run off past that eye, and you would land on a wing in midair.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to die on purpose so that they can try it again, which is very fair. Demon Dragon 2-cycle can definitely be harder than it looks.
Yeah. So yeah, this fight at a first glance for players, it may seem like, oh, it's another auto-scroller, like it was Demon Beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild, but it has a lot more depth to it. We can do a lot of things to make it faster. Basically, this fastest known strat for any percent, which is the 2-cycle, which basically it's trying to.
I don't think he's going to be making the Zelda cycle here, since Link just jump slashed in the air there.
Another.
That's unfortunate.
Death there.
That can be pretty annoying when that happens.
Yeah, probably intentional too. The thing is that sometimes it's better to just die, even if you could try to go for a 3 cycle or thing. It's sometimes pretty inconsistent without the paraglider. Know where
and that's
the
also very
demon's dragon
unfortunate.
position. Ugh.
They pressed R slightly too early, and Link went into throw aim. And so, yeah, when you do get Demon Dragon 2 cycle though, it is very cool.
Yeah. So we see Arna trying to get the clip out of army to skip the bosses.
Seems like they're looking for a visual cue.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be using Quick Smuggle to do this clip. And then like...
You see that it's a lot faster than what Moist had to do, because there's basically no menu, you just can instantly cancel the jump slash by pulling out the bow.
And a few top runners on 1.0 will use Zuggle Overload Arrow Smuggle to do these. But that can also be pretty difficult with all of the implementations there. So it is still pretty fast to just do the normal jump slash cancels.
Yeah.
Alright, and Moist Goulash has, after getting the first 2 eyes, he was looking for the light dragon to get to a specific point in her animation to jump off. And then we're going to be doing the same thing as last time, landing on a wing and hitting these 2 eyes. And it looks like he's going to get it. It looks like he's going to be doing this strat, where you immediately start Mosdoring.
Yeah.
And this is
Another thing that we've not talked about, it's we had all these Saggled weapons from Ganondorf, but we're actually using the Master Sword that we just got with...
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just rotating to the side a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, we're using the Master Sword that we just got with Lizalfo's Horn, because basically the game really wants us to use the Master Sword, and it made it that the only way to really deal damage to Demon Dragon, basically, it's using the Master Sword. So yeah, that's what we are doing.
Yeah. Without the Master Sword, the Demon Dragon does not take very much damage.
Yeah,
and
so it's a lot
Anna
faster
doing
to just...
the final hits.
Yeah.
And making sure for the very final hit to be in midair so that this load is faster.
Yeah, we can do a side hop there and do a sword slash, and if you are airborne there, you should save about 8 seconds of getting a faster load.
Alright, and they've landed the final hit on the Demon Dragon, and all we have to do right now is we just have to go into this final bit where we are just gonna dive towards Zelda.
I don't think there's anything that can go wrong here, it's just diving and pressing A as the prompt for grabbing her hand shows up, so yeah.
Yeah. And
this is it for Moist.
I think I am slightly behind. But yeah.
Let's see.
Grabbing Zelda's hand.
Showing me that, and done.
GG.
Yeah. GG for Moist. Pretty decent execution over there. 51-34.
Very respectable. There was lots of clean parts in that run. Demon Dragon is very difficult, so...
Yeah.
But they
That
did
was
eventually
basically
get the main part of the
issue,
two-cycle.
but yeah, still got the 2-cycle, and the rest of the run was pretty clean.
Yeah, and Anna is doing the Ganondorf fight without Zuggle, which can be harder. Alright. So, I think we're gonna get in Moist Goulash for an interview. GG.
Thank you. Thank you.
GG, hello.
Hello.
How do you feel after that?
The run was okay. I don't know. There's a lot of bad parts. There are some good parts too, but
Yeah, well, we've seen you struggle a bit with Demon Dragon there, but you got the 2-cycle at the end.
yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to show it off, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and is that your best score yet in the qualifiers?
I believe so, yes. Yes.
Very nice. So yeah, that is... I think Ganondorf finished for Anna. That was a very nice Ganondorf fight.
Yeah.
Because Ganondorf is not easy without Zuggle. And to be honest, it's also not easy with Zuggle. But yeah, now Anna is going to be doing Demon Dragon. I think they'll be going for the 2-cycle as well. Since it is possible on newer versions, even though we have slower Mozdor slashes, we can still do it. So, no Zuggle.
So, yeah.
This is what the cutscene was meant to look like.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Demon Dragon is gonna roar at us briefly, and then we can start doing the final section. Alright, and here we go. Okay, it looks like they are not going for the 2-cycle,
Yeah.
and they are aiming for consistency, which is also very understandable in a tournament. 2-cycle does take a lot of practice. And that is a consistent way to do the Demon Dragon fight without very much RNG involved.
Yeah. The thing is that even if 2-cycle is pretty hard, it can be also really consistent. And the problem with Demon Dragon is that the more cycles you add, the less consistent it can become. You don't have the paraglider, as I said, and yeah, it can be pretty hard to predict where the eyes are gonna be positioned.
Yeah, there are backups. There is a backup I know to land on a wing mid-air where you can use jump/cancels to kind of stall in the air and then drop a wing and then dive onto it. But
Yeah.
I feel like not many people know that. And especially if you don't have any wings in this fight, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, diving down to the second eye, and we'll be killing that.
Especially Arna right now, which he's on 1.2, so even if he has wings, he only has a limited amount and he cannot dupe them as easily right now.
Yeah, I feel like duping wings with mid-air throw dupe in the Demon Dragon fight would be pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, that's something I don't want even to imagine, so...
Seems like they're going to be able to make it to the third eye here. Oh, a Gloom Ball unfortunately hit them. I have seen players lose the 2 cycle to being hit with one of those before.
Yeah. We'll see
Seems
him
like they're
using
gonna
his
be
last wing
stalling
here,
in the air with a
and...
wing.
Oh.
Oh,
Oops.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gloom Balls can give you a little bit of a momentum. It is weird. And I think he's gonna just about be able to make it to this last eye. Maybe a few Moz doors will make it.
Yeah.
They are gonna have to watch out for gloom damage here, but I think they're gonna make it. Yeah, okay, they made it. So that's all 4 eyes down, and then for Arna, all we have to do now is get the final hit. And they're going to be riding Zelda all the way to the top, and diving down to the Demon Dragon, which is throwing projectiles at us, but we can make it past that. It can seem a little alarming for people who don't see speedruns of this game often, to see them on only 1 heart, but usually it's completely fine. Oh yeah, and you saw they didn't actually go in midair for that final hit.
Yeah,
because
I was
that
gonna
log
say that.
difference is only on 1.0.
Yeah, that's a 1.0 thing.
And now we've got the final hit. Exactly an hour in. Nice. Skipping some cutscenes, and then dive down to grab Zelda's hand.
Yeah, I think from this point, this last section diving, it's only about 30 seconds, so yeah.
Yeah.
It will be about a 1 hour and 1 minute time.
I think so. But still. Also GG's to Anna for pushing through that. There are lots of tricks in the run, especially in 1.2, that you can easily fail, so I applaud them for keeping on going. And that is GG's for Anna, grabbing Zelda's hand at around the 1 hour and 1 minute mark. GG's, guys.
GG.
And there we go. That was the 7th qualifier. In the Tis the Kingdom tournament in total, there are going to be 10 qualifiers. The last one is going to be on Monday, or technically on Tuesday, depending on your time zone.
Oh yeah.
And I think another one might get restreamed.
Yeah, I think so.
So, looking forward to that. That's going to be very cool, as there has not been too much Tears of the Kingdom events happening on Zelda speedruns, so it is very nice to see that here. And we are just asking Anna if they want to come in for an interview. GG's.
Thank you.
GG. Hello.
That wasn't that
How
good.
do you
but,
feel? Well,
honestly, that wasn't a good run, but I managed to finish it.
Yeah, it's good that you
So
finished it.
That's the most
Yeah.
important. I can do better, but it's all right.
Yeah, finishing runs is still a pretty good achievement in the qualifiers, as it can be pretty demotivating to continue.
Yeah. At least I think that I showed some cool stuff on the stream, so that's
Yeah.
the most important.
Got to show off the quick smuggle stuff, and it was very cool.
I had some
Yeah,
fun,
it was.
so that's all right.
It was pretty interesting having the comparison between 1.0 non-arrow smuggle strats and the 1.2 that you've done with all the quick smuggle. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, we got a nice showcase of two different versions.
Yeah, that's a good conclusion. Nice showcase of the runs. We both didn't do a good run compared to our levels, but that was nice and we had fun, so that's all right.
Yeah. It was very fun to see you guys race.
Indeed.
So yeah.
All right. Do you still have any more questions for our runners?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, me too. It's been really fun.
All
and
right.
hope to see how everything else goes in this tournament. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for commentating.
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
thanks
thank
to
you.
both our runners for agreeing to be on this free stream. So yeah, big thanks to Moist Gulash and Arna. And also big thanks to both our commentators, Velus Cube and Sledgen. So we still have 3 qualifiers for this 80% tournament to go through. We have qualifier 8 at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And we have qualifier number 9 on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we have qualifier number 10 at 9 p.m. Tomorrow Eastern time. So yeah, that's it for us for now. We will be raiding the SR1. They are doing the Majora Mask Randomizer Grand Finals right now. So see you later, guys. Bye.